This message is brought to you by Venmo. It's not easy being a football fan, especially in the postseason. Watching your favorite team botch a 4th and long, failing to get out of bounds on a 2-minute drive, or fumbling the transfer on a simple handoff, that's hard. But transferring money with Venmo on DraftKings, that's easy. Football is hard, paying with Venmo is easy at your favorite brands all playoff long. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most states. Restrictions apply. Terms, DraftKings.com.
Folks, I'm getting hungry, and you know my favorite part of any meal, snack, or game day app? That's right. The GOAT, or should I say the greatest of all time, Frank's Red Hot. It's got the perfect blend of flavor and heat that elevates all foods, from wings to buffalo chicken dip to even ice cream. That's right, I said ice cream. And with a roster of flavors, from OG to sweet chili, you can put that shit on everything. So make every dish the greatest and eat the GOAT.
Ready to relax in your dream bath retreat without the stress of figuring out every detail yourself? At the Home Depot, your bath upgrade is covered. Shop fully designed rooms and curated bath collections to go from inspiration to transformation fast. Savings of up to 40% will make it easier on your budget. And find everything you need, from tubs to toilets and all the tile in between, to bring your vision to life. The Home Depot. Dream baths built here.
Dan, ¿lo oíste?
Dímelo.
¿Oíste el halftime show? ¿Lo viste y lo oíste?
Sí, los blancos están enojados.
Enojados, están un poquito traicionados, creo, porque en el juego más americano, en el juego más de ¿cómo lo puedo decir?
Americano.
Ya lo más de ellos, lo más de ellos.
Ajá.
Voy a hacer eso. Lo más de ellos. Y tenemos el representante de nosotros. No es cubano, pero puertorriqueño, pero aquí somos primos.
El conejo malo.
El conejo malo, el Bad Bunny. Babo.
¡Qué locura!
Sí, no, fue un escándalo. Yo estaba ahí en el party mío, en la casa de mi hermano.
¿Cómo va esto?
La gente está enojada, Dan. Estamos haciendo el show entero en español.
No, entero
no le gustan eso. Yo puedo hacer los primeros 30 minutos hablando del set de Bad Bunny.
Un arroz con mango.
Lady Gaga era...
No. ¿Qué pinta Lady Gaga ahí? No puede hablar español. No puede bailar. ¿Qué fue esto? ¿Qué fue? Mírame. ¿Qué fue esto? De las manos ahí. No puede bailar salsa. No puede bailar merengue. No puede bailar bachata. No puede bailar en algo absoluto.
¿Por qué estuvo ahí ella?
¿Por qué estuvo ahí? Ay, no sé. Porque veo a Ricky Martin, que puede hablar español. Veo a Bad Bunny. Veo los cantantes, los bailadores. Ok. Y Lady Gaga se aparece ahí. Así que no sé. Pero fue el halftime show más mejor del siglo. Del siglo. Ok, del siglo. Más mejor del siglo.
Mejor que Prince. Mejor que
de Prince.
J-Lo y Shakira.
Y él estaba ahí. Bad Bunny estaba ahí. Pero fue más mejor que... Porque J-Lo no puede cantar. No puede cantar.
Es cierto.
Shakira sí. Y se pueden mover las caderas. Ok. Todo el mundo estaba bien happy con eso. Pero Bad Bunny hizo algo que fue tan latino que la gente no pueden imaginar qué pasó. Porque lo ven, ¿no? Y no se... En el mente de ellos no lo pueden fijar. Bailando, perreo, todo. Tengo setlist aquí. Titi me preguntó, banger. Yo perreo sola. Palo, zafaera, party. Voy a llevarte para PR. EO, Mónaco. ¿Qué más? Ese estaba buenísimo.
Hizo Nueva York también.
Nueva York también. Baile inolvidable. Lo que pasó en Hawái, que fue, para mí, yo estaba mirando eso. Nunca yo creía que él fue a hacer la canción esa con Ricky Martin. Porque eso está un poquito más... Vamos a hablar de conspiracy theories, de que quiere hablar de Hawái.
That's what I'm saying.
Papi. El apagón, que estaba encendido, café con ron. Y la cosa que no me gustó, la última cosa que voy a decir.
¿No te gustó algo?
No, sí, es que debí tirar más fotos. la canción del más notable. Okay.
¿Cómo se dice start the show?
Y lo cantó ya yendo para el locker room.
Dilo en español. Dilo en español.
¿Cómo se dice start the show?
No puede decir empieza el show. Coño, estamos mal.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I still think the Rams are better. It's hard to make that argument today, though. The Seahawks won 10 straight to end the season, 7 by 10 or more points. They trailed for all of 95 seconds in the playoffs. They turned Drake May. They put the punctuation on Drake May. Congratulations. Worst postseason run by a quarterback ever. No dispute. C.J. Stroud was in these playoffs, and he wasn't this bad because he didn't get to win the games that made him this bad. Like, that is as bad as Drake May. I got to think he's hurt. Like, that's part defense and that's part pressure with 4, but when he's saying that he's getting a shot before the game, I didn't even recognize that Drake May on very simple passes.
It's funny how that works, though, right? Because if Drake May would have lost in the first game of the postseason, be less criticized than losing in the Super Bowl.
Stafford in 3 games against the Seahawks, 961 yards, 8 touchdowns, no turnovers, 111 quarterback rating. And no one else could do anything against the Seahawks defense. They'll go down as an all-time defense. I would have given the MVP to a defender of some sort. Couldn't select one because there were so many, so just give it to the punter.
You didn't consider Jason Myers?
I would just give it to the punter. Why not just give it? Why not 3 punts inside the 6-yard line? 3 of them inside the 6 in that game. Kenneth Walker, okay, Kenneth Walker's dad had never before been to one of his son's games because he's afraid of crowds. Never been to a Michigan State game, never been to a Seahawks game. So the first game he goes to is his son winning Super Bowl MVP. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's crazy that he would be that afraid of crowds that he wouldn't brave any crowds. And then the one crowd he would brave. Listen to Kenneth Walker talking after the game, after winning MVP of the Super Bowl.
My dad, he comes out to Seattle all the time to watch games, but he never goes to the game because he don't like crowds. So this is his first NFL game, and we won a Super Bowl, so it means a lot to me, and I know he's proud of me for real.
You have to convince him, or just like Super Bowl?
I wasn't the one that convinced him, actually. My agent convinced him to come out here. So I didn't think he would come. They ended up miking him up and everything, so he got out of his comfort zone.
Would you guys have objected to making Michael Dixon, the punter, the MVP of the game?
Did have some good punts.
Had to be the kicker. I was thinking midway through, I'm like, Jason Myers, MVP.
I know, 5 for 5.
I think they nailed it. Kenneth Walker was awesome.
Yeah, like 10 yards
He
of carry.
was fantastic.
Michael Dixon was also the hold. He was the holder on
It was
some
kicker
of those,
before
those
punter,
bad,
Dan.
bad
Come on, you're
snaps.
talking crazy.
Coffin corner, man.
We will get to what I believe to be the single most Hispanic thing to ever appear for a sustained period of time on American television. I didn't understand why they inserted Lady Gaga into the middle of that, probably to make it slightly more palatable.
Palatable to who?
Well, come on now. You don't think
A lot of people at the party that I was at was like, what is she doing here?
Yeah. A lot of the conservatives watching were like, well, now it's okay. Famous ally, Lady Gaga.
Oh, was that ever? I was so stressed out by this halftime performance. I was with 30
Why?
people.
Hold on, why?
My dad brought. We had old white people. We had young Hispanic people. It was just like right away. We had
Really?
old white people being like, "I don't know anything he's saying. I'll be back in 10 minutes." And then they got to walk back in to give us their thoughts.
All of your dad's friends talked like old-timey press people from the 1920s.
You should have seen my dad. My dad was the one. I liked it. My dad and all like what? Like it was. My dad was trying to be an ally.
So last year, Kendrick Lamar bothered people with an aggressively black halftime show. Did Bad Bunny then trigger people with an aggressively brown halftime show? I've checked out on social media stuff, so I'm not looking for reactions.
People were
to that.
unhappy, Dan.
So they were unhappy by the same thing they were predicting, right? Kid Rock and all the fragile, anxious white people who were performing their alternate halftime show were doing so because they were afraid of the fact that it's not just that Bad Bunny went Hispanic. Look, that was a celebration of culture. It also did what best art does, okay? Because it moved people. if you care about heritage at all, that thing is the most Hispanic thing I've ever seen on American television. And he went with his most Hispanic songs. It's not even, he's so good that he doesn't even have to play some of his classics to reach over. He's like, no, I'm going all Latin, heavy Latin, and you want something not Latin? Here's Lady Gaga.
Do any of his songs have any English in them?
There's songs that he's collaborated with that have English in them.
But like, is he singing English?
No, very, very rare. Very rare.
So what was the reaction? Please tell me. I don't know. So the reaction was exactly what the predicted reaction was?
What demo are you talking about?
There is a song
different reactions.
There is a song where Booker T says, "Can you dig it, sucker?"
It's called Booker T, by the way.
That's right.
Is it popular? Was it popular?
Yes,
was it
of course.
Was it polarizing?
Yes, of course. It was
and
all those
popular?
things. 100%.
Yes.
It was everything to everybody. I know for at least Miami, this was the greatest Super Bowl halftime show of all time.
I mean, I saw dudes putting out videos on social media. They're crying just how much pride they felt, you know? Like, yeah, the people who loved it really loved it, and the people who you knew were not going to like it, you know, made up reasons why they didn't like it, but it's all so transparent.
All right, this required almost 10,000 theatrical pyrotechnics. It had 400 costumed extras. The walking trees, the dancing trees,
good touch,
were paid $19 an hour for 70 hours of work. So they all made, the trees all made $1,300 for the rehearsals and everything on game day, according to Darren Ravel. So he went, you know, it's not just the dominoes, the guayaberas, it's not the cane fields. It's that all of it has never been seen before on mainstream American television. What are the most Hispanic things to ever appear on mainstream American television? Does Sábado Gigante count, given that it was on Spanish television in America, but it's not on one of the networks. It's not being watched by this many people.
Well, it is on one of the networks. It's just a Spanish language
no,
network.
I'm saying one of the big networks.
You're saying one of the legacy ones.
One of the legacy mainstream networks.
You mean like the English-speaking ones?
The big four.
Yeah, because Univision and Telemundo are also network television.
Yes, I'm saying the English-speaking ones because that event yesterday was an English-speaking event. And they stopped in the middle of it to go to a totally different language. And it's what people are upset about.
Yeah, I can imagine like, hey, we're bringing this, Russian guy over, and all of a sudden it's all Russian. Everybody's like, what is he saying? I don't get it. But like, Spanish is kind of the second language of the United States, if you really think about it. Per capita, with the amount of people that speak Spanish in this country, it's the second most spoken language in the country. And it was just such a cool moment for just looking across the room at everybody. We were in a place that had 30 people in it, and like everybody was nodding their heads. Even people that didn't really listen to Bad Bunny were like, holy shit, wow. The production was insane. The costumes were insane. The dancing.
I was in the middle of it. I commented to my wife. I'm like, this is amazing camera work, because like when they were up on the top of the platform there with the wedding going on, nobody bumped into anybody. Like the cameraman, it was incredible.
That was a real wedding, incidentally. That was two people got married during that ceremony. I actually had the anxious thought of really worrying for the people who had to splice in the video at exactly the right time that was clearly of him taped falling through a roof.
I was arguing. I said it was taped. Everyone was like, that was live. I'm like, you guys don't know
that's where
production.
He would change clothes,
Thank you.
I think those are, but he's got a couple of seconds to do it, and I worried that a video team would screw up the timing of that. It seems like that's a lot of pressure for whoever has to make sure that video hits at exactly the right time.
100%. And it was not long enough for him to have a wardrobe change. That's what the Lady Gaga set was for him to be able to take the jersey off that he was wearing, put on the suit top. But Dan, even when he finishes that, he goes into what looks like a quinceañera or a wedding of some sort, and he's got the kids sleeping on the chairs in the big jacket. Like, that's our life. That's me as a 10-year-old kid at some wedding that I don't know the two people that my parents dragged me to, and I'm like, guys, it's 12:30 at night. I'm tired. I'm gonna lay down. They're like, that's our culture. That's Miami's culture. That's Hispanic culture. And like, to see that displayed on the big screen, you're looking and you're like, wow, yes, okay, this is us.
Jewish boys fall asleep at bar mitzvahs too.
Oh yeah, that's ours too.
Cool.
Did a
I
tribute.
don't bring kids to wedding.
Did a tribute to the 11-month blackout that Puerto Rico had, because I don't know if you think of this as a political statement, because I really did think of it as just celebration of heritage. But in these times, celebration of heritage is a political statement. One of those commercials. What? I don't know if it scared you guys as a dystopian commercial. They're not seeking dogs with whatever it is they're doing with your facial recognition there. Like, ICE would like that information. Like, that seemed dystopian to
that's
me.
a
Watching,
trick?
Oh my God, is that a trick?
My wife wanted me to download it.
Don't do it.
Oh
Hey,
my God!
not
And you got a big ass head.
I watched that and was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
It was all the old white people being like, "Why are there light posts there?" And then my Cuban sister-in-law has to be like, "Well, actually, in Puerto Rico," and just in the middle of a performance, she's like explaining why there are light
Their
posts.
power grid is failing, and it has a lot to do. And the song is actually called El Apagón, which is the shut off. The lights turned off.
Yeah, the blackout. And
Did you notice all the cameos, the celebrities who were there dancing? I got news for you, man. In case there was Pedro Pascal and there was Cardi B.
Pablo, as I like to call him.
And I don't know if you caught it because it was really quick. But Jessica Alba, Dan, if you weren't aware of Jessica Alba, because she doesn't act anymore. She she retired or whatever.
No, she runs a giant a giant cosmetics business that makes her a lot more money than she ever made from Hollywood.
Well, I don't know if you're aware because she doesn't act anymore. Jessica Alba still fine.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Update.
You know what he said.
Ronald Acuna was in the middle there. Who else was there? The Ricky Martin thing. Many of you probably aren't old enough to even remember that the previous moment I think of, which is just slapping America across the face with Hispanic, was the really the breakout performance of Ricky Martin at the Grammys, where the electrical current of him doing the music was larger than all of the other music being performed live. It's sort of the last place I go to that felt like what it is that this was meant to feel like. But there was nothing controversial in this. This was simply a celebration of heritage. This was just simply a party. And if it's controversial, it can only be controversial to you because of the surrounding times around that stadium. It has nothing to do with the performance. The performance was benign. It was just doing what art is supposed to do.
Love over hate is controversial these days. Just to make that clear. That's what a lot of conservatives had an issue with, the messaging. Why are you calling out our hate?
And then, of course, there was, it's couldn't understand anything he was saying because I don't speak English. I got news for you. Kendrick Lamar last year, I didn't understand the words.
But they had the same complaints there. Same reason, same stuff.
No, but I can go past that. Make it whatever rock band. You tell me you go to a rock band show and you understand all the lyrics that are being said during the song.
Okay, no, but some of them. But some of them. I actually understand why people would object to that. I do. And it's just because you're closed-minded, you're entitled to be closed-minded. You have that freedom. But I understand if you made it, say, Russian or K-pop, and I didn't understand anything, it wouldn't summon cultural pride for me. But this is part of the nature of the divisions that are in front of you right now. That was an expensive show they put together.
It's music. I don't understand what anybody's saying. Doobie Brothers are the whitest band of all time.
That's what I'm
saying.
That's Mike McDonald.
He made a cameo.
Champion.
He made a cameo in the pregame.
Hey listeners, Chime is changing the way people bank. And honestly, it's about time. This is fee-free, smarter banking built for regular people like you and me, not old school banks charging overdraft and monthly fees just for trying to live your life. This is banking that's actually on your side. Chime isn't just another app. They unlock smarter banking with tools like MyPay, giving you access to up to $500 of your paycheck when you need it, and even getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit, something that I would really like to take advantage of. There are no overdraft fees, no minimum balances, no monthly fees. Chime makes your everyday spending work harder with real rewards, stress-free credit building, and savings earning up to 3% APY. And there's the new Chime card. Build credit with your own money. And with qualifying direct deposits, earn 1.5% cash back on eligible purchases. Chime is not just smarter banking, it is the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today. It just takes a few minutes to sign up. Head to chime.com/Dan. That is chime.com/Dan.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services, a secured Chime Visa credit card, and MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. MyPay eligibility requirements apply, and credit limit ranges $20 to $500. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. See chime.com/fees info. Advertised annual percentage yield with Chime Plus status only. Otherwise, 1.00% APY applies. No min balance required. Chime card on-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. See chime.com for details and applicable terms.
All these patients complaining they can't get their medicines. Insurers and PBMs are often owned by the same giant company, so middlemen, like me, decide what medicines you can get and how much you pay. But don't worry, if your prescription gets denied, we know another one that works for us. I mean, you.
Washington should stop PBMs and insurers from driving up drug costs. Learn more at phrma.org/insurer costs. Paid for by Pharma.
Don Batard.
A recreation of the iconic scene in A Few Good Men, as told by Chris Cody.
Stugotz.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to them.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
In a hypothetical, if I'm just saying to you hypothetically, while I can say, sure, I don't understand a lot of the lyrics, there's not 100% guarantee before you start that I'm not going to understand any of the lyrics. Like, that's never so with if they're in English. And if it's American, if I shouldn't even say American music, because Puerto Rico is obviously America Jack. But if it's Spanish, the starting point is you're excluding me. So I get why people might be threatened or fragile about that, but this man doesn't sing in English. Like, his English, he's just learned some English, and it's not great. He struggles in English.
And on top of that, regardless of language, when you just pull out an act, like last year was what, Usher? I think
That was Kendrick Lamar.
It was Kendrick Lamar. Okay, but a couple years ago there was like an Usher or like some other thing. If you don't like the band or you don't like the person, they're already excluding you. Right? Because if you're looking at it and be like, oh, I don't really like, if they would have taken Metallica, like, I'm not a Metallica fan. I'm not a rock fan.
It should have been Metallica. San Francisco, how was it not Metallica?
Okay, sure. Whatever.
Nothing against Bad Bunny, but how was it not Metallica?
Okay, so if it was Metallica, I would have checked out and been like, okay, they're excluding me. But I'm okay with that because I know I don't like that music. Okay, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to go turn a Hispanic halftime show around.
Zaslow is speaking to something here when he brings up Metallica. That Goodwill Dunkin' commercial hit because it was for old people, correct?
I liked it.
I know, but it's the same reason you want Metallica. There is a certain nostalgia. Was that considered the best of the commercials?
Benson Boone, Ben Stiller for me.
When people fall off of something and hit something, it's always funny. It's always funny.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, but especially when they're dressed kind of like the character from Dodgeball, like that. But yes, when people fall off something, is it always funny? Put that on the poll, and please, Lewis, do me the favor of getting that video of Ditka and Paul Horning on stage when one of them falls off a stage because the other one slaps him on the back, and just put it in picture.
I thought we all liked finding dogs. What's wrong with that? It's a great service. You lose your dog, we find your puppy. Everybody's happy.
I can't believe I fell for the rope-a-dope there.
Really? You're surprised that you come from privilege?
My wife wanted me, like, we have Ring in my house. My wife wanted me to make sure I set the notification on.
Yeah, it's dystopian. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, they're this comfortable just doing it in plain view. This comfortable. They're wrapping it in lost dogs. Next move is going to be infants. If you lose your infant, they're just going to trick people into how it is they get your facial recognition.
Be glad that they told you, because it's actually been something that they've had access to for a while now.
Yeah, that's true too. Getting to the game for just a moment, okay? Because we had the conversation, Mike, this year about turnovers and is it recreatable, okay? And then Chicago caused more turnovers than any team in the sport this year, but they get to the playoffs, they cause 0 turnovers. Seattle all season, turnover machine. Sam Darnold led the league in turnovers. They go the entire postseason without a turnover. First Super Bowl team ever. First Super Bowl winning team ever to go an entire postseason without a single turnover. And obviously the game plan in that game, given you saw this early, right? Patriots weren't going to be able to do anything. Sam, just don't throw the game away. Like, if you could just not throw the game away, there's no circumstance under which Seattle will lose this football game.
Early on, it seemed like he was trying.
There was one pass early on, should have been a pick six.
Yeah, it's rare where you come away from a Super Bowl and you ask yourself, was that team any good? Yeah. That's how good the Seahawks were in this Super Bowl. I'm stunned that they were wire-to-wire dominant, and I'm really stunned at how bad Drake May looked. They were so far out of their depth, that was not a fair fight.
I think defensively what Seattle was able to do with just rushing 4 and getting home with 4 and dropping 7 in the back, was just like, all right, you're going to force a guy with a bad shoulder to make really tight window throws, and it just wasn't happening.
Well, let me address a couple of things here, because we will talk about Mike McDonald and make him a star, and we will talk about Sam Darnold and make him a star. But John Schneider has now won 2 championships with no holdover players and a different coach. I don't think people know the architect of this football team, and he's now done it twice with 2 totally different things. And when you mention the pressure with 4, this part was funny to me, Zaz. So before Bad Bunny and the halftime show, these poor people or rich people who are doing the halftime analysis have about 4 seconds to talk.
Oh,
like,
I noticed too.
it's just it reminds me of the ABC NBA halftime shows where it's like, get in and out. This is all about commercials. We're coming to all of you for 47 seconds total for all of you. And so somebody's analysis, I'm not making this up. So I guess it was McCourty. I wasn't really paying attention. But I just heard one person's analysis because they're just shooting around. Everybody, Garrett,
what do
all
you got?
guys, give it to me in 4 seconds. And the guy's analysis was just, Will Campbell is getting his butt kicked. And I felt so bad for Will Campbell's family.
It's hard for a nation at large to recognize bad O-line play.
He was getting his ass whipped.
He was getting his ass kicked from whistle to whistle. That was so bad.
Well, did you guys see the stats, though? He allowed 14 quarterback pressures. No offensive lineman has allowed that many all season. Like, that didn't happen one time. But for the analysis to be, hey, you got 3 seconds here. I'm going to say McCourty because I was just half listening. But all of his analysis was just simply and accurately, Will Campbell is getting his butt kicked.
There was a hilarious moment in that game. It was just after, the pinpoint accuracy parabola ball to Mac Hollins, right? And it looks like, okay, maybe New England figured this thing out. We have a backdoor opportunity. Give me some juice here. They're starting to move the ball, and Chris Collinsworth is like, yeah, all right. They're starting to find their rhythm. And then Drake May throws the worst interception possible, and it leaves Chris Collinsworth speechless to the point that he literally says,
"Yep,
I've got nothing for you here."
Yep.
It was a bad throw. Getting back to the line play, though, that we don't talk about enough when these things happen, right? I don't think people understand how bad you have to be for everyone to notice that you're that bad. For example, Kenneth Walker had those good runs. Go ahead and tell me who had the good blocks on him. It's every offensive lineman's worst nightmare to have the game that Will Campbell had, where we're all noticing, oh my God, they're going to just cave in that side of the line all game. He's got no chance. He shouldn't be out there.
Yeah. I think Kenneth Walker had the type of performance where you actually, he stood out. because of his patience. Whether it be, I know that there was one famous one highlighted where he did like the Le'Veon Bell, and then he shoots a very tiny gap. But all those screens, that was all patience. Like, he was waiting for his blocks to set up. Sometimes there wasn't much of a lane. That's why I think he was a worthy MVP. I thought he was dynamite.
Can you guys look up for me? I think Justin Tuck one time against the Eagles had 6 or 7 sacks in a game. And it's the last time I felt that way for an offensive lineman. I don't even remember who the offensive lineman was, but he was just totally ill-equipped. And I think Tuck had 6 or 7 sacks in a single game because they were never able to adjust to it, never able to fix it. To go an entire game or entire season that no offensive lineman has allowed that many quarterback pressures. And the worst part of it was that Drake May was unrecognizable because he got scared. Like, that's what happened, and he should have been scared. Like, he had no time. There were no answers. They couldn't leave enough people in. You can't go find Hunter Henry every time the way you did all season because Will Campbell was a turnstile. Like, you cannot have 4 guys getting that much pressure when you've got 5 and 6 guys blocking them. That allows you only to send 4 receivers out into 7 people covering them.
He was spooked from the jump, right? Like, Will Campbell, there was one play, and I think it was after halftime, where he gets a false start call on him. So he's got the start. Okay, he beats the defender out of his stance, and then he gets pushed so far that it knocks over Drake May on a false start, and it's like, dude, how do you cover 10 feet of ground just getting pushed like that? They were talking about on the broadcast that his issue is he gets pushed so badly that he knocks into the quarterback, and that's what happened in one of the sacks. I'm trying to think of who it was.
Yeah, it was right up the middle.
Right up the middle, big white guy, 92, literally just has Will Campbell in one hand, grabs Drake May with the other hand, and takes them both down. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah, that a lot of people are commenting today that McDaniels needs to get Will Campbell some help in that situation. Like, you have to do something so that it doesn't, so that you have the #1 defense in the league feeding like the Sharks feel blood in the water, feeding because they know they've got your quarterback scared.
Why else is Austin Hooper on the roster?
Throw a chip block, buddy.
Spring break isn't what it used to be. It's better. This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Visit bestwestern.com for complete terms and conditions.
Kids. They grow up so fast. One day they're taking their first steps. And the next, they don't fit into the tiny sneakers they took them in. You blink your eyes and their princess dress is 2 sizes too small, and their dinosaur backpack isn't cool anymore. But don't cry because they're growing up. Smile, because you can profit off of it. For real, there are a bunch of parents on Depop looking for the stuff your kid just grew out of. Download Depop to start selling.
Dan Le Batard. Football.
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 Stugotz.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
It is rare for you to see somebody who was 1 vote away from winning the MVP look scared, and for you to understand, oh, of course he's scared. How could he not be scared? Nothing is working, and they look incompetent in the first half, and he knows good and well, just like Seattle does, just like everyone watching on television, just like Lady Gaga and Bad Bunny know, oh, Will Campbell can't block anybody here. They've got an offensive lineman there who might as well not be out there.
And the other thing, too, is you want to hit the quarterback early, right? And that's what we saw with Miami and Indiana, where they were roughing up Mendoza early to try to get him happy feet in the pocket early to have off-balance throws. And you saw that from Drake May. There was a pass that he threw to Hunter Henry that almost killed him, where he was way back on it. Pop Douglas had a back shoulder throw that he was late on. So he wasn't setting his feet. He had happy feet in the pocket trying to make something happen, knowing that with 4 guys, he's getting pressure. And it's like, what do I do here?
I haven't had this feeling watching a Super Bowl in a long time, which is like, what the hell are they doing here? And the last time I felt that way was like in the mid-90s with the Chargers against the Niners. I'm like, how did you make it here? Somebody stepped out of bounds. I wasn't like, what are you doing here?
Hold on, Mike. I'll give you the Patriots and Rams Super Bowl that was 13-3, where the Rams and Jared Goff had absolutely nothing. And I want to say off the top of my head, that was the same year that the Rams got the PI.
Yeah.
That was egregious.
Well,
they changed the rules.
I at least knew what they were doing there. It was a bad call.
No, and Todd Gurley got hurt, and they really needed him for everything that Goff was doing. And Gurley's
But they were
career
terrible that Super Bowl.
ended that career. Yeah, but Gurley's career ended with whatever the injuries were that prevented him from playing in that game. He was the actual MVP for that team. To Mike's point, though, how did the Patriots get here? Okay. 14-3, 3 losses by 1 score. 1 to the Steelers, 1 to the Bills, 1 to the Raiders.
They lose to the Raiders.
Well, because they didn't play anybody.
I watched that game yesterday. I can understand them dropping a dumb one to the Raiders.
They didn't play anybody, and they lost their healthy offensive lineman a month ago, and I thought the wheels were going to fall off then. They just fell off when they had to face the 3 best defenses back-to-back, and they won 2 of the games. They won 2 of the games because C.J. Stroud was terrible and because Jarrett Stidham's not a starting quarterback. Stick him. He's not a starting quarterback, and that's the reason they lost those games. I would have preferred, obviously, to see Denver in that game, or they could have just run it back Rams and Seahawks, and I would have been fine with that. But did you guys see this? This made me laugh, right? They interview Vrabel at halftime, and he says, all we got to do is block, execute, attack, be aggressive, go find a way. None of that's helpful. Like none of it is helpful. Like, hey, coach, what do we have to do? Block, execute, attack, be aggressive, and go find a way.
Wait, what are you confused by? I got exactly what the mandate was. What is it? Block, execute,
aggressive,
go
attack,
find a way.
Attack, go find a way.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right. Yeah, but coach, our quarterback's scared because we can't block their 4 guys.
That's
why he said block.
Attack is useless there. Everything else very helpful.
Aggressive is very helpful.
You got to be aggressive.
I need to know that.
Aggressive. So block, execute, aggressive, attack, go find a way.
Attack is the only redundancy there.
I fell for so much BS before the game because the AFC had home designation, and Mike Vrabel wanted to do this road warrior mentality thing, so they wore all white, their road uniforms, despite them being the home team. It's largely why Fanatics was not ready for any of the Super Bowl merch. But they also opted, one thing that I caught during the pregame was they also opted for the road locker room. So any shot that they had of the Patriots, like they were in the tinier road locker room that looked crappy, they willingly did that. And I'm like, man, this team may just roll. They're all crazy like their head coach. And it turned out that they were crazy to think that they had a shot. They got rolled in this one.
And they turned to their coach. Coach, we need some advice. Nothing's working. Go find a way. All right, thanks, coach. Appreciate it.
Go find a way. Make it happen.
Will Campbell, go find a way.
He didn't find it.
No, he did not. Again, do you realize in a halftime show where everyone is talking for 3 seconds because they got to get to the next commercial in a hurry because everybody's watching the commercial, it's the only time all year that people are watching commercials. Everyone's skipping through commercials everywhere, but not on this day. And the analysis is Will Campbell is getting his butt kicked. Just if you're an offensive lineman, you dream all your life of playing in the Super Bowl. That is a horror. That is an uncommon horror to have everyone noticing you playing.
Do you just imagine, like, his grandma sitting on the couch and hearing that?
Yes, because the thing is, the only time you notice an offensive lineman is when there are penalty flags, but there were no penalty flags in that game. It's just somebody getting devoured.
Yeah, why didn't he hold a couple times?
There were no penalty flags in that game, so it's just we're all noticing someone's incompetent, and it's because of the pressures being allowed. It's not even the sacks. It's that he allowed 14 quarterback pressures.
That's so many.
I mean, it's more than any lineman is allowed this season. They played the entire season. There are a lot of bad linemen out there. There were plenty of games with plenty of sacks. That's the only one that's had one lineman getting 14 quarterback pressures. And then the analysis from the halftime analyst is Will Campbell is getting his butt kicked.
On 43 attempts from Drake May, by the way, so 14 pressures on 43 attempts. It's a very good percentage.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah.
Do you think when they call in the play, like they're about to huddle up and McDaniels calls in the play to his ear, it's another passing play? It's like, shit.
I mean, did it not seem to you that Drake May was not only scared but unrecognizable? Stafford didn't look like that. Stafford beat that dude by 1 vote. Stafford didn't look like that against that defense. That looked incompetent and unhealthy. Least surprising thing in the world that, I needed an injection before the game. I don't recognize the quarterback that's been playing for the last month. Jeremy, how many times has Drake May been sacked in the postseason? It was 20 what? It was 20 plus times that he was sacked. So the stat on Drake May, I've got it written down here somewhere.
I think it was 21, yeah.
But the stat on Drake May, he's played 33 games. It's 102 sacks and 24 fumbles. It's 7 fumbles this postseason. 33 games, 102 sacks, 24 fumbles. That's 4 sacks a game, and that's nearly a fumble per game every time he's out there. That's not Stafford.
No, it's not. I mean, Stafford has a lot more help around him. Yeah. That's pretty evident. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Parkinson, Higbee, Kyron Williams. Sean McVay calling it. Hunter Henry's been in the league for 10 years. Austin Hooper has been a punchline on our show for 5 years, and he's still in the league. Mac Hollins, what are we doing? Stephon Diggs, potential Hall of Fame career, no doubt, but not at this point in his career. That's not a lot of talent surrounding Drake May right now.
Did you see Mac Hollins get up arriving at the stadium yesterday?
What was he doing?
Hannibal Lecter, right? He was Hannibal Lecter.
He's got branding, and he did his job. He caught his touchdown. I got no problem with Mac Hollins.
But coming in barefoot and with shackles on?
That's always he always arrives barefoot. Yeah. That's his thing. Thank God.
Stupid.
Someone on that team had some life. Something to them.
Drake May was indeed sacked 21 times. And Dan, it took 20 minutes, but I finally found the game you were referencing when you said Justin Tuck. It was Osi Umenyiora. He had 6 sacks in a game in September of 2007 against the left tackle Winston Justice of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, I remember Andy Reid got crushed after that game.
So a 20-year-old reference.
We speak Dan back here. We were on that wild goose chase forever. I'm like, he said Justin Tuck, but he was doing it from the
inside.
Could it be
Grady Jarrett? No.
Because when he said, he was like, I forget the kid's name. It was Winston Justice. We figured it out.
Osi Umenyiora.
Thank you for doing all of the translations on that. I didn't get any of the names right while saying I remember it.
We got there.
Tuck did have...
We found a way.
Yeah, the reason why you confused it is Tuck also had a big Sunday night football game, but it was against Washington, and since he would do most of his damage from the inside, there wasn't somebody to put that loss on. So I knew you were conflating it with another Sunday night football game.
Thank you. Winston Justice is the guy I was thinking of, and it's the last time I felt that kind of bad for an offensive lineman of any kind, because it's hard to notice them, and you can give Kenneth Walker the patient award, because not since Le'Veon Bell has a running back run quite like that, where he's that patient in the backfield. But we don't notice those offensive linemen when they're actually making the holes. There's only a couple of ways to notice them. They're allowing all the sacks or they're getting penalties. There were no penalties in that game. That was a clean game, and I think we can say, without it being overreaction, right? Patriots were frauds. We can say it without it being an overreaction, correct? Because of everything Mike is saying here, where once their quarterback gets scared, you realize how little help he has.
Yeah, I guess. I wanted to push back against it, but I think you're probably right.
All you got to do is look at who they played this year. Yeah. They didn't play anybody, right? Yeah. There's a laundry list of coaches that they played that got fired this season.
Barely got past Denver 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but they were 14-3 the way Darnold's Minnesota team was 14-3, and then they got rid of Darnold. Darnold is now 31-7 in his last 38 games.
There's nobody better.
I mean,
there's nobody better. There hasn't been a better stretch of that in a very long time.
31-7 in 38 games. If only only because he's Sam Darnold and everything happened last year in Minnesota and then they lose in the playoffs exactly the way you thought, we make Sam Darnold a fraud, but he's not. And now the Patriots are? Because I haven't seen many 14-3 teams that get to be frauds, but Drake May's on one of them and Sam Darnold was on the last one I saw. Because that Minnesota team was a fraud too and lost immediately in the playoffs. Drake May's misfortune. Drake May would have been better off just losing at Denver. Bo Nix being healthy and just lose at Denver, and so you don't have to be like 21 sacks in 3 games. Drake May's going to get the blame for that, but the organization and the offensive line I know that guy's good. I know he is.
Is he?